Okay, I'm doing a short video describing a 2010 Acura RDX with a tech package. It is an all-wheel drive, and it does have the tech package. It has the sunroof, it has leather interior, as well as Michelin's all around it. I'm just going to go over it with you as quickly as I can. Okay, the Michelin's are excellent. The rotors have been recently replaced. Brake pads and rotor life has 75% remaining, so they're in great shape. Here's the body of the vehicle. There's paint chip there. I'm sure it's caused by somebody with the fuel pump handle, hitting the area near the fuel door. All the tires are Michelin, matching all around. Same situation on the rear brakes. Rear brakes are fairly new, 75% remaining. Rotors were changed as well. Tires are really nice. Lots of life in them, 75% remaining. The paint's nice and glossy, very shiny and clean. None of the body's wavy. It's very straight. You don't see any wavy body. Very few dings. Any scratches, like there's a little scratch here, that can be buffed out. Most of the scratches on here are buffable. I'll go over the whole thing in detail after I give you an overview. So first I just want to get around it, let you see it all, and then we'll go zoom in on little stuff and go over that. Notice all the matching Michelin tires. Headlights are clear, not cloudy. Paint's clear, shiny, nice. It's not all chipped up real bad. It's got a little bit of, little chip in here on the grill, not much. Fog lights are good, they're not broken. Again, you get little bits of chips here and there. The trim surrounding the fog lights. Let's take a look. Let's take a look on the roof. Got a sunroof that functions fine. It tilts up, it slides back, and it closes correctly. So all of the features on the sunroof work correctly. Don't have any issues there. The bumpers are in pretty nice shape on this vehicle too, for being a 2010 with 110. It's actually a very nice truck. Let's take a look on the inside. There's our door panel. There's our entryway. I think it was pretty gently used. You don't have a lot of scratches, and when somebody's rough on something, you see a lot of plastic scratches and a lot of broken things. All the buttons and controls feel tight like they should be. Got some wear here on the seat, just here on the bottom, and that's just from normal use. Not much you can do to prevent that from happening, other than not sitting down. Got cruise control and radio controls on the steering wheel, all those simple amenities. Dash is nice, not cracked up. Again, no signs of rough housing on the controls. Everything's nice and clean, and none of the buttons are worn off. All their markings indicating what they are clear. So it's got original floor mats in it. This driver's mat's a little worn down, but other than that, that's normal wear. Nice to see that all the original stuff's still here though. Original floor mats and all. That passenger visor's a bit dirty. Maybe some makeup residue. Other than that, very nice inside. Let's get to the back door. Same deal here, nice. Now you see those little depressions in the seats there. That's from somebody that had a car seat in here for long term. Aside from that, pretty nice back here. Let's go into the hatch. Hatch opens nicely. That's not my purse. My girlfriend Tracy is here with me. And the hatch needs some cleaning. It's not stained, but it has, you know, just little dust and dirt and things in it. Needs to be cleaned up. Headliner's nice, but back here you see it's got some little things where they stuck something in here and it rubbed the top of the headliner. I'm sure that'll clean up, but I wanted to show it to you. Now we're going to go over the nitty-gritty on the exterior. By the way, this vehicle is running. It's warmed up. I've been driving it now for probably an hour and a half this morning, so I could get a good idea of how it drives. I checked it for intermittent problems. It has none. Has no lights on, no warning indicators. Everything functions as it should. It drives tight, smooth, quiet, no issues. All right, now let's go over this front bumper cover real closely. It's pretty nice. You've got some little chips here and there. Some of that might be even like little bug marks. That's, you know, nothing much you can do with that. I mean, you could have somebody perform like paint correction on it where they wet sand and buff out those little bug marks, and, you know, really make it perfect. But, you know, that's not something we normally would do on a 2010 vehicle. But I mean, really clean. Paint looks great. Here we have a right rear door, little paint chip there, a little rub that might buff out. Let me feel it. See. Actually, yeah, that I think most of that you could buff, you could compound that out. So little chips there. You could touch it up. You can compound it first and then touch it up if you like. Doesn't require paint work to make it look good. This hasn't been, no paint correction's been performed on this. This is just as nice as it, you know, as it was when we got it. Now, if you look here, you see you got a little scratch there. Not too bad, but it's there. And it probably will buff out. I couldn't catch my finger on it, so I think that'll buff out a little bit of compound. Again, it's not really, you know, something big, so. Now I have somebody that does that kind of stuff if you want it done. But, you know, it costs you a little extra, not much. You could probably go do all the corrections on this thing for probably $150 if you care to do it. Back here on this right side, I missed this here as I was walking by it. A little rub there. And right there, see that little scratch? You could probably put some paint, you know, touch-up paint on it. All the glass looks clean, shiny. It's not all scratched up and beat up. Looks pretty nice here. And this panel here, you've got those two, three little things there from the filling of the fuel. Little tiny scratch, that'll buff right out. See, this is all natural. The interior hasn't been dyed. The outside hasn't been, you know, hasn't had paint correction on it, like where we go and fix all the blemishes. I'm showing it to you how it came. This is how it was traded in. There's some real fine scratches there. They'll come up, if you buff them out, they'll buff right out. Got to use compound and then polish and then wax, and they come up like new. The hood looks really nice. Yeah, so not many exterior blemishes. The roof's clean. Undercarriage is dry. It's not rusted up. I've got a lot of undercarriage photos of it on eBay. No leaks, all dry. It's in good shape. Let's go inside and let's go take it for a ride and get a little more detailed here. I've already checked the sunroof, but we'll do it for you on video so you can see. Okay, got the door closed. I've got my engine temperature monitor there. There's your mileage, 110, 267 at this moment. We've got a little bit of fuel left in there. There's your turbo gauge there to the left next to the tachometer. Navigation's on, works well. We don't have any issues there. All the radio settings and all function fine. Steering wheel controls, they're all working. The radio sounds phenomenal. It's great. The sub in the back works fine. Everything sounds the way it should. And everything's working here so far. Tracy, if you would, please just hold this phone. Thank you. Just for a second, let me put my seatbelt on. That way our seatbelt light will go off. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, now let's go for a drive. Well, first, I guess, Tracy, go ahead and go through some of the menus on the navigation and whatnot. So there's our radio on the country music there. There's our nav. There's some of the system setup things, you know, map input and things of that nature, where you can save destinations and such. We've got dual zone climate control, so you can have your heat your way and she can have her heat her way. And that makes a difference. Heated seats do work. We have them on, and we're nice and toasty. Open that glove box. Let's see if we got any books in here. Okay, what do we have here? All right, so we've got a couple of books here. Here's the bookcase with all the factory books. All right, great. What's that there in the glove box? What else you got in there? All right, got a set of wheel locks. Evidently, that's the lock key there in the center, and those are regular factory lugs, so the wheel locks are on the truck already. Looks like there's a CD in there. What CD you got there? Looks like a CD. Well, we might learn something about the people that used to own it. Let's see what we got here. Okay, best of songs. That's, what's that? David Gray, okay. And what's this? Best Bible songs. So these people were Christian people. What else you got in there? Might tell us some more about who we have here. Who owned it before? Let's see. We got that Michelin tire brochure. It's got Michelin's all the way around it. Maybe we could determine when they were installed. I don't know. It doesn't look like they have anything in there about the date, do they? No. That's all right. Yeah, they're nice, like I say. Don't need any tires anytime soon. I mean, there's about $1,000, $1,100 worth of rubber on that thing. All right, she's going to put the books away, and we're going to start our test ride. Okay, so we've been warmed up. Like I say, we've been operating now for 2 hours. I'm going to put her in drive, check the engagement. Engagement's fast, smooth, and drive in reverse. Not delayed. Our backup camera does work. Okay. All right, back to drive. Radio station display is up there up top. I don't know, in case you're not familiar with how some of these Acuras are designed. All right, so we're out here on a nice, beautiful country road. We're actually kind of entering a neighborhood, but not far from my house. So I'm going to go up here, turn around, and we'll go for a nice ride, get a little speed up, and see how she rides when she's going fast. But just to get an idea how the cabin feels, it's quiet, it's not rattling. You know, some cars you get in them and everything's loose and jumping and bumping, and it feels terrible. The suspension's tight in this vehicle. It feels really nice, feels original. You go over bumps, you don't get reverberation from the shocks like when they're blown out and tired. You know, this thing's tight and nice, drives like it should. By the way, I'm a master technician. I have over 20 years experience, not only doing refinishing work like cosmetic things and paint and body, but also mechanical work. I do everything except rebuild transmissions. Never got into the tranny aspects of things. Of course, I know how to test them and see if they're right or not, but I just don't do internal transmission work. So, but I do have some knowledge of it, but I'm not an expert in that area. Motors and everything else related, except for interior repair. I don't do upholstery either. I know pretty much the rest of it very, very well. I know how to detect structural damage. I'm very well versed in engine performance, suspension, and how things are supposed to drive when you drive them, how they're supposed to feel. I've driven many thousands of cars, bought and sold thousands of cars, so I know my way around an automobile. Okay, so now we're going down the road a bit. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here. If nobody's behind me, I'm going to try and see if I can stop. See if we can gun it a little bit, and you can see how the transmission shifts. It shifts great, and I have no issues here. All right, so here we go from a dead stop, about halfway down on the gas. There's third gear, fourth gear, as I can go on this back road. But it shifts fine. There's no chatter when it shifts. Downshift the same. So it has no issues, you know, upshifting or downshifting. Doesn't have any intermittent issues. Doesn't have any gear hunting problems where it can't find the gear. Everything's smooth. I mean, Acuras are designed really well in those aspects. Motor, no rattles, no noises, no low end noises, you know, knocks. Really doesn't even have any lifter tap. It looks like we're hitting a traffic jam up here of some sort. I don't know. Maybe I can get out of here going left. Let's see if we can. It's going to be a bit difficult, but I want you to get a good look at the vehicle. Kind of like I'm driving you around and showing it to you. You might be out in Oklahoma somewhere. I'm here in Baltimore, in Carroll County, Maryland, right now at the moment I am. And it's like you're riding in the car with me and we're going over it together. And that's the way I want it to be, so you can see what I've got to sell you. That way you don't feel like, hey, where's my money going? What am I buying? You kind of feel all nervous until you get your car. You can feel good the whole time because this is the way I sell them. I describe them correctly. I drive them myself before I sell them. See, a lot of guys, the car comes in, they get it from wherever they get it, the car comes in, they tell you what they can about it, but they don't know. They haven't driven it, and they don't know what they're driving. They don't know about cars. They're not mechanically inclined a lot of times. They're just salesmen. I'm the owner of the company. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this my whole life. I know how to describe them. I know how to check them. I know how to go over them correctly. And so that's what I'm doing for you now, is making sure you get a nice car. At least get what you think you're getting. That's the main thing, that you know what you're buying. Steering's accurate. We don't have it pulling left or right. You can drive it without touching the wheel, and it drives straight. It's very comfortable. Like I say, no rattles over bumps. When you touch the brakes, there's not a lot of travel before they start grabbing, so they're grabbing at the top where they should be. You don't have all that pedal play. Same thing with the accelerator pedal. It's grabs for you right on top. Get started. You hit the gas, it responds immediately. The turbo on these are turbo. I don't know if you noticed, but when I was filming the RPM gauge there, the turbo gauge is right next to it. You can see that the turbo spools really well. I mean, as soon as I hit it, there it is. Boom! She gives you all the boost you need. I mean, right away. Not incredibly fast, but I tell you, for a little four-banger, she's got good pep. Fuel mileage on these is pretty decent, and it's an all-wheel drive, so you can go through the snow, or I don't know if I take this off-road. Doesn't have much ground clearance for that kind of stuff, but certainly take you around very well in the snow. The all-wheel drive system is a pretty good system that Acura uses. It kind of conserves fuel by not using the all-wheel drive constantly. All the modern cars are doing that now, pretty much electronic four-wheel drive, if you want to call it that. Let's take a look at I got our temperature up there. Our temperature's just a little tick before halfway. It stays there all the time. Like I said, it's been running and running and running. We're at 18 minutes in the video right now, and it's been running 2 hours before that, so we don't have any overheating issues. It's not eating any water or oil. We don't have any leaks whatsoever. The undercarriage is dry. If you got leaks, you're going to have a little bit of something underneath there. This is bone dry, so you got no leak here. It's got the auto dimming mirror feature up there. That's all functioning well. There you go. You can see that. That navigation screen is not flickering. That's just what it looks like when you're filming a screen. Just like if you film on a computer, it looks like it's flickering. For us, it's solid, looks just like normal. In the video, you can see it's flickering, but it's not actually flickering. So, okay, now we've got we've got some buttons here we can go. Here we go. Tire pressure monitor functioning well. All-wheel drive, that kind of shows you like what the all-wheel drive system is doing. Mileage per gallon. Now, we've been sitting still for a while, so our miles per gallon is probably averaging pretty bad. So let's see if we can reset that. Maybe we'll get some pretty good fuel mileage here in the future. Let's see here. Average speed was only 5 miles per hour. So I've been driving the car 2 hours 26 minutes, as you can see. Got 93 miles of range left to go before we run out of gas. And you can turn that off if you want. I like to leave it on the coolant temperature. That way we can see if we ever have a problem with our coolant while we're going down the road. We get to see that the temperature's not right. So I leave all my cars, when I'm driving a car, I always leave it on the coolant display rather. That way we can see what's going on there. No issues here with this car. Just something I do myself. I always like to look to make sure I'm not overheating. Just good habit, I guess. Now, let's see. What else can we go over? I've already been over all the steering wheel controls, and they all work. It's kind of hard for me to go over that stuff when I'm driving. I'll tell you what I haven't done. What I haven't checked is the cruise control, so I'm going to check that now. I've checked all the windows. I'll just put them down for you. I'm not going to be able to turn around and get that on camera, but back windows are down. Back windows are up. Front windows are down all the way. Front windows are up. So they're all functioning properly. Sunroof functioned properly. I've already been through that. The tilt works. Opening the window works. Closing the sunroof window works. And also the shade itself is on track properly like it should be. So that pretty much gives you all the sunroof functions, and that's fine. As soon as we get out of all these traffic lights here, we're on Route 26 riding down through Carroll County. Once we get through these traffic lights here, I'm gonna, yeah, here we go. Let's try the cruise control, see what happens here. All right, so we hit the, let's see, how do we turn this on? Cruise, okay. So first thing you do, you see this button here, it says cruise. Yeah, hit cruise, and your cruise light lights up there by the gear shift indicator. And then you hit set. After you hit set, and you hit acceleration, and we should have some cruise control pulling us down the road now. Yep, cruise is working. Yep, cruise works fine. Don't have any issues there. So our cruise is on, it's active, and it's working. It's the only feature I hadn't gone over yet for myself. I'd already been over all the other stuff, but haven't been over the cruise control. I'm going to shut it off because I don't need to use the cruise control while I'm making a video. That's a little difficult to do as it is. All the display panel doesn't fade out, doesn't change. Sometimes you get in the car, one day the radio shows you what station it's on, the next day it doesn't. That doesn't have this problem. This car, always, the displays all work just fine. BMW has a big problem with that stuff, but or at least they did. I don't know if they're doing the really new ones, but they did have a problem with it for a long while. Acura does not. All your display stuff is bright and clear, and it's not fading in and out or anything. It has no intermittent issues. Everything's right on this car. It drives wonderful, steers straight, goes over bumps properly, acceleration, everything's good. All your door handles work, inside, outside, of course. I mean, I haven't seen anything that doesn't work. Your lock and unlock button works. Let's try these